Hi friends. If you click to check out the new Suqqu Cream Foundation Intense Covering Concealer, the new blush palette from pre-holiday 2020, amongst other Suqqu things, then please keep on watching. Hi, I'm Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I did a video explaining Suqqu's philosophy with their makeup, with their skincare, and I will make sure to link that video down below. I wanted to get this up fast because you have been asking me about the new cream foundation, the intense cover concealer, as well as the new blush palettes. So we'll look at the foundation swatches. I'll demonstrate the shades here. You can get an idea of which shade might work for you if you're around my foundation shade. We'll compare the two blush palettes, and whether I do another video or I'll go on a live to try on more Suqqu products, I'll be more than happy to do either. I had all these notes and I'm like, listen, just get through it. You could do this, Alicia. I took B-roll as well because I always like to record myself just in case if I can't get a live demo on, but where do I begin? I also have my notes from my Suqqu consultation that was conducted by Shumana, a Suqqu rep over in the UK. We had that on September 10th. Woo, so that's like a week and a half ago, maybe? No. 2.5 weeks ago. You cannot do math. You're stupid. I had signed up for an appointment because I was wondering what cream foundation shade I would be. Not only did Shumana help me come to a conclusion, but Jorge Bazzaretti, who is not only a world-renowned makeup artist who DM'd me to tell me that he saw my video, as well as the people at Selfridges and Harrods and the team at Suqqu in Japan. I can't. Anyway, also a creative consultant for Suqqu and was responsible for not only 2 quads that are releasing soon on October 1st, but this beautiful new blush palette. When I saw this on Instagram, I nearly died. I was like, it has to be mine. And the team at Suqqu, in addition to some skincare, they sent me this blush palette, and I could not express my gratitude enough. And thank you to everyone who saw my video, shared my video. Thank you to the team at Suqqu for sending me this beautiful blush palette. Thank you to Beatrice over at Selfridges who took care of my crazy Selfridges order. I ordered so much stuff, fam. The money, but it's okay. We're gonna make it. My mind is all over the place because for a brand like Suqqu to even see my video and to like it, and I'm beyond. And I spoke about this in my first video, how I was overly impressed by how helpful they were in terms of assisting me in figuring out my foundation shade and my concealer shade. It was very important to them, and they also addressed the fact that they know their complexion line is very limited in the shades available, and they had said that they are working with a lot of makeup artists in the UK to further extend their foundation line, their concealer line. So it's really great to know that they are in the process of improving on those shades, because let me tell you, fam, I tried this foundation yesterday. I wore it for 8 hours and I have footage of before and after. You will see. I can't even explain the sublime texture of this foundation and the concealer. It's unlike anything I have ever experienced, and put me on record here, it is the best foundation I have ever used. Hands down. I got my notes. We're going to talk about the foundation, what it's formulated to do, what you're going to expect, the shade matching, the this and the that. And with all that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. Skin is bare, and on purpose, because I want you to see there's a gnarly blemish here that just won't go down. She is inflamed and mad. I'm happy that I have my hyperpigmentation, so if you are undergoing the same skin condition, you can see how this foundation works in terms of the coverage. In addition to this new foundation release, Suqqu also designed their foundation brush. Look at the grooves here. It is wedged, very soft, synthetic, and it is inspired by Japanese theater, namely kabuki, I believe. The theater artists who use huge paddle-like paintbrushes to paint their face white in whatever character they were playing on stage. And man, this gets the foundation on fast. The new cream foundation by Suqqu this jar is just the exquisitry. Shiny black exterior with the beautiful gold detail. I ordered all my Suqqu from Selfridges. Harrod's also has it, but you know how I feel about the $30 shipping. Okay, this is a Japanese luxury brand. Okay, so this foundation retails for $79. I know, just hold on. In addition, we're looking at 1.05 ounces of product or 30 grams of product. Suggested shelf life of 12 months, and all products shown here in this video are made in Japan. Each jar comes with its personal spatula just to maintain the cleanliness of it all. I purchased two shades, 035 and 040. 035 is the shade that Jorge recommended to me. He said it was a beautiful tan gold undertone. Shumana recommended 040 because I use 004 Classic Tan in the Extra Glow foundation. So she was correct in recommending me 040 because they are very similar, but I do see that the 035 is a better color match, as like directly matches me, and the 040 just gives me a little bit of sun-kissedness, just a little bit. You'll see in a minute. Next up, we have the Intense Cover Concealer. Look at this freaking packaging. Again, shiny black detail with the gold lining, Suqqu here etched on the front. And because the new lip products also come in the same black component, what distinguishes them from their glow finish and the concealer finish, the fog and the glow finishes, is the fact that the fog component is a matte and the top is like a brushed gold, where the glow fluid lip is shiny black, but it has the gold top. So if you were to see all those components together, you know you have the concealer because it's black on the top, you have the fluid glow because it's shiny gold on the top, and you have the fog, which is like their matte cream, their moussey matte lipstick formula that has the brushed muted gold. Genius, absolutely genius. I mean, I can't stand it. The three concealer shades I purchased per Shumana's recommendation are 15, 16, and 18. Now, the limitations are the fact that the cream foundation only comes in 12 shades. The concealer only comes in 8 shades. Yes, that is very limited. And considering that this is a Japanese brand, I understand that the general demographic they are catering to, yes, the shades might not be as well represented for a Japanese brand like a Western brand. I get it, but now they're becoming more mainstream. Now they know they gotta pump out those shades, okay? The concealer retails for $41.50, 0.21 ounces of product or 6 grams, suggested shelf life of 12 months, also made in Japan. And again, this is what the concealer component looks like. And with the cream foundation jar, like, this is a beautiful pair. Beautiful. You're like, Elisa, just put on the foundation, okay? I know, I'm so sorry, I get so excited. Here is 035. I'll show you first what this looks like by itself. I have a couple of swatches here on B-roll if you just want to see them on the arm compared to 040 as well as 004 Classic Tan. You can see that 035 might look light, but it actually is my exact skin tone. And swatching 040 here on the other side of my fish, it does leave significantly more warmth. Actually, you will think that this is too light and this is my exact shade. The 040 leaves me looking like a little sun-kissed bronze, and I'm not mad at it, you know, considering I don't get a lot of sun anyway. To rely on a foundation for that warmth without looking artificial, we're winning, fam. We're winning. Now with our paintbrush, look at this. Look, first of all, the consistency is so creamy. It just melts into the skin, and the design of the brush just makes it so fast in terms of the application. Like, you're done. You're done. Look at the consistency. In terms of the texture, this is said to be medium coverage, buildable, creamy consistency as you can see, and the dry down is satin, whereas the extra glow is more of a dewy. But when it comes to dewy satin textures in the Eastern realm of makeup application, more specifically Japanese makeup, you're not greasy. okay? You have that luminosity, that skin-like finish, because the Suqqu philosophy is all about enhancing one's complexion, not masking it, transforming your skin to look poreless, blurred, and just perfected. Again, without the heaviness, without the cakey texture. For the 040 side, and you'll see in a minute how this just, see how it gives me a little bit of warmth, and 035 is like my exact shade, but it's all good because ultimately I have both. I will use both. And you know, if I wanted even more warmth, I will mix in some of the classic tan from my Extra Rich Glow. And while I understand they're two different foundations, I don't think one's formula will negatively impact the other. I truly believe that all Suqqu products are designed to work with each other, even if they're a different product, because ultimately whatever Suqqu product you apply on your skin, it's designed to make it look just flawless. So you see I have some shine. It does dry down more to a matte finish if you just kind of let it do its thing. It doesn't oxidize. It gets better as the day goes because you have different levels of pigment, right? So you see the first level, and by the end of the day, like a fragrance that has different levels of note, you'll have that third level of pigment note that will just show through, not dulling the complexion but still giving it life and dimension. And I like the wedge because I could do this and just further press the product into my skin. You do not have to get this brush. How much is this brush actually? I think it's sold out. I'll put the price up next to me. I totally forgot to mention that. This is my skin. I know it looks shiny. It's just, I like that because when I powder it, it's not gonna be dry. And now that we're entering the fall winter season, I do want a foundation with a little bit of, with a satin finish, because my skin can get very dry and today's a little humid. So perhaps the atmosphere is affecting how the foundation dries down, but I don't mind at all. Number 15, this doe foot applicator has the groove on the tip. 15, I feel, is like my exact under eye color. It's not too light, although I am contemplating maybe getting a slightly lighter shade, but I appreciate this because it doesn't drag my under eyes. In fact, the shade does a really nice job of covering my discoloration and evening out my skin tone here. The foundation actually does a fantabulous job. If it wasn't because of this, if we were to take that out, look how well it covered my hyperpigmentation. I might have to put something on there. Perhaps I'll turn it into a beauty mark. The texture of the intense cover too. Remember, intense cover to the Japanese makeup world is not like how it is over here, okay? It is a little more modest, a little more reasonable in coverage. So if you have dry under eyes, if you have mature skin, you still want that coverage because why not? It's going to sink beautifully into the skin and it's not going to settle into fine lines either. It just works with your texture. It just melts. I know, I don't have the words either. I'm speechless. Number 16 is a little warm as like my blemish cover, but it works, you know? So if I were to just concentrate here on the portions of my jawline that need more coverage, I'll place number 16 there. I do want to come on live and see how the concealer does on its own, like how I use the Dior Forever Skin Correct as my all over complexion product. But look how it just melted into the cream foundation and how it just beautifully sinks into the skin. Now, if you are oily and you live in a humid climate, cream foundation might not be your jam, or you powder your complexion first and then go in with very little, work it into the skin, spread it out. I really do truly feel you could manipulate the finish of the foundation to better suit your skin type. But I understand you want to skip this completely if you feel that it's too emollient. But again, because of the season that we're moving into for New York, I think we're good. 18 is the deepest shade provided for the intense cover. So if you're wondering what shade you wanted for contour, you're my shade, 18 works. And if you're deeper than me, Perhaps this could work maybe as under eye, maybe a little bit of brightening. Just see, look how the concealer sank. Look at the tone. It's absolutely perfect. Even though it's warm, it's still not like orange. You know what I'm saying? We're waiting on the shades, but listen, I have a feeling they're gonna hit us with some bomb deeper shades. The undertones are going to be heavenly. You know what I'm saying? I applied this yesterday. I just couldn't believe how beautifully it sank into my skin. I'm going in with a little more just to build up the coverage, and you have that option with this concealer. It is also formulated to be a medium coverage, but when you layer it on itself, it's not going to appear cakey. It's still just going to melt into the skin, but you could adjust that intensity without it appearing aggressive. I am just a radiant, glowing goddess. Now with this powder, let me brush my eyebrows. I am so sorry. Suqqu also has a brow product. They have a couple. I might have to get that. The powder, which I have just enraptured by it, simply put. The sheer loose powder is the one that I have been using extensively. Here it is. I've used it in several demos, favorites, videos. I've mentioned it a bunch of times, but I wanted to try their oil rich glow loose powder. It has shimmer and it is formulated for drier skin types, for those who want a little more radiance on the complexion. Shumana suggested that I place this on the high points of my face, so not necessarily to set my under eyes, but to just, if you don't like highlighter, like traditional highlighter in a compact or palette, you could just use the oil rich glow, which is expensive on its own. I think the powders are like $40 something. Oh my god, but you get a lot of powder. 12 months digested, 15 grams, 0.52 ounces. That's not bad. So to quickly show you how there is a little bit of shine and radiance, and brushing that on now with my Wayne airbrush, just here on the high points of the cheeks, and see how that gave a little bit of glow, just enough. It's so finely milled that even though there's a sheen to it, it doesn't look overly shimmery. It's really nice. I actually want to experiment with this to buff. So if you really want to appear like radiant, like radiant, the oil rich glow is called oil rich glow because it has oils in the formula, especially for drier skin types, that they cannot use a traditional powder because it's too drying. So you could probably get away with this under the eyes. I might experiment with that one day though, I'm not gonna lie. Sheer loose powder is a little more matte, but as you've seen in prior demos, not flat. Matte but not flat. Lightweight, and it also doesn't change the, whatchamacallit, words, hello. The color of your concealer. Like sometimes a powder, even though it's said to be translucent, it will change the color of the concealer, but it leaves the color alone. But look how just still soft my skin looks. Got a little gather there, but that's right under my eyes where the lines are deep, friend. So I just kind of push it back in. I'm gonna just tap around under the number 18 concealer and then center my forehead. Like I could just leave it here, put some eyebrows on. Let me put my fake beauty mark on, actually. Better. But I'm sure you all want to see this blush palette. First blush palette, number 100, I believe. 101. This is the first one. Blew my socks off. These tones are so unique. You see them, you're like, I have that. You might, but the experience will not be the same. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm sure you recognize the fact that 102 has 3 highlighters and 101 has just the 2 highlighters. And Jorge had said that 102, he wanted to make a little more neutral. And you're like, really? You call this neutral? Dare I say, when combined with 101, it's a lot more neutral, and you'll see in a minute. These tones are just this. Here is the first blush shade, and this is, I think, more of like a matte versus the one that exists in 101. Here's the shade that I thought looked similar to the one in 102. So see, there's a little more sheen and it has a little more punch. These I feel are more buildable. They're a little more, I think 101 is user friendly still, most definitely, but you pick up a lot more, whereas 102 is a little softer. Here is the mauve matte. This shade is like a beautiful rose, whereas this tone from 101, I think maybe a little more mauve. So you see it's a little more cool tone. There's a little more rosiness from 102. And the blush palette is called Momodome, and Aya was so nice to send me some press release info on the product. Dusty Pink. This blush compact comes with 3 blush shades that suit a variety of skin tones and 3 highlight shades to define the cheekbones. Each shade could be layered with others for a deep multi-dimensional color. This first one we swatch is called Tangerine Orange. This one here is Cloudy Pink, and I like the cloudy label. I think that's very much appropriate to describe that hue. Frosty Red. This has some nice shade to it. It's like a pinky red and it can be built. Compared to the one found in 101, this is more like a fuchsia. So it's a little cooler in tone, and you see it has like that sheen to it. Also, let's take a look at this one here. I would say this kind of reminds me of what's going on the tangerine side, but that actually has a little more coral to it. So upon initial glance and swatch, if you want more of a matte finish, then I will go with 102, because you see the texture is more matte and it's a little lighter. And if you feel these are a little too intense, then you don't have to get 101. If you want to get both, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay, and also because the shades from 101 are more satin in finish, I believe if you don't want that sheen on the skin, then stick with 102. The highlighters, let's take a look at these highlighters. Dazzle Gold. Now the difference I immediately detected is that this texture is a little tighter and it has more punch than the highlighters found in 101. And if I were to quickly show you, that was my observation about 101, is that I felt these shades were a little limited in terms of the variety of skin tones they can benefit. So this is more of like a pinky type of champagne shade, and the next highlighter that's a pinky in tone is called Light Bronze. This is so beautiful. Look at that. That's a very special tone. It's very unique. And Pink Gold, oh my gosh, this one right here, like, are you kidding me? That's beautiful. And the last highlighter from 101, this was like a nude type of, I feel, taupe situation that I think kind of matches up with what's going on here. But if you wanted like that true gold highlight, it exists in 102. 101 has the beautiful blush shades, but the highlighter shades are a little tricky if you are my skin tone or deeper, right? Because you're either getting this beautiful pink shade, which it could work, or this like taupier shade that, depending on where you place it on your face, maybe it won't actually appear like a highlight. But I know what you want to see, okay? Hopping into the tangerine blush, because fam, I'm placing it right on top of the number 18 concealer. The mirror is beautiful. Look how beautifully that blended. Do you see what's happening? Look at the oil rich glow powder. It's too much. It's just too much. I want to apply Cloudy Pink as like, I kind of want to see what it does higher on the hollows, because I think this is such a beautiful shade. Oh, it's a little cooler in tone, but again, it's still rosy, and I feel it's just so beautiful. And it kind of intensified like the undertone of the cream contour too, so it gave me a little more depth there. Pinky red right here. Oh my goodness me. That is just It's just beautiful. Place it on here as well. I applied this foundation, concealer, and blushes around 10 a.m. yesterday. And here I returned home, just turned on the camera with my jacket still on. It was 6:10. Everything looked intact. My skin looked even better. The blushes, you can still see them on my complexion. And yes, maybe I did appear shiny, but friends, I mean, the fact that this cream foundation is emollient and skin-like, but it still lasts throughout the day. And even though the blush swatches are a little more light than the ones from 101, the pigment still remained on my skin. Like, I still look like I had makeup on even after 8 hours. And I was doing a stretch it at photo shoot. I was stretching. I was in a lift for like an hour because the traffic was insane with a mask on. Okay? So with all those conditions and the fact that my makeup still appeared like it did, I'm not saying you have to buy it. I'm just providing you all the important information. Okay? Still putting on blush. Still putting it on because look how it just lays on my skin. You want to see this highlighter. I could feel it. Gold. Dazzle gold. Oh my god. If you're like, Alicia, which blush palette should I get? I do prefer the highlighters from 102, from Momode. I do. I just like the more gold champagne hued highlight is in this palette. I could use it more and I feel it suits my complexion better than the pink one here. But these shades are just so special. Like there's something about them that just adds beautiful dimension and flush to the complexion. And they're so versatile in their undertones. Like so many different skin types can wear them and look beautiful with them. I haven't tried the pinky bronze. No, I'm gonna try the pink bronze, maybe a little lower. Oh, it's so beautiful. I can't, what is happening? Look at that texture. It just melted. Look how shiny it is. Are you kidding me? I want to take a look at this one. Let's see. A little lower. I am so mad. Why not just put on a little dazzle-lazzle, the gold dazzle on the cheekbones, just for good measure. You know, since we're here, I'll drop into this pink highlight and take a little bit on the tip of the brush, just layer it over the gold. You know, we're going all out, fam. We're going all out. I feel my brows are not worthy for this moment, so excuse me while I take a second and draw them on. That's much better. Just to save time, I'm slapping some of these blush shades on my lids, but yesterday I did use my Hourglass primer and I do feel it helped the longevity because my lids are oilier. Try that again. More oily than my skin. So let's quickly go in with, let me see here, let me see. Where are your eye brushes, Alicia? You're so prepared. Sonergy Detail Pro in the crease, because this shade in the crease, I think I want to put on some of that mauve rose too. And if you're wondering about these tones, it says here that the pre-holiday collection is all you need to achieve a party ready look for this festive season. I feel party ready, absolutely. The collection is inspired by the Japanese expression Ryurakinshu, which refers to elegant clothing. It draws inspiration from Eastern elements such as silk, pearls, gold, and exotic color combinations to create these exquisite shade combinations. Yeah, I agree. A little bit of cloudy pink, maybe on the inner part of the lid. Oh, yes. And then placing tangerine under the lash line with my Worker 1. I love a hazy eye. Yes. Taking the pinky highlight on the lid. And look at that sheen. Such a beautiful shade to wear on the lids. We're going to take a look at how the bronze looks. So that's a little more neutral. Yeah, whereas you see this is a little more pink. And then I'll take the gold shade on both inner corners. Yes. Place it right here under the inner part of the lash line. Taking my sheer loose powder with my small buffer, just bring everything together so it could all melt. Quick curl of the lashes and slapping on some dark star. Placing the unlocked on my bottom lashes so there's no transfer. I will do another video on the lip products because there are two lip products that release with the cream foundation and the intense cover concealer. They are called the Suqqu Comfort Lip Fluid Fog. Fog refers to the moussey matte finish. And there is the Suqqu Comfort Lip Fluid Glow, which is more of a shiny, glossy finish. And these are the two components here. You see that the fog product is indicated by the matte finish and the glow is indicated by the shiny black design. And the differences you see on the top of the component, I think is just genius. Fam, I was not ready. I still really can't believe how beautiful these lip products are. They retail for $39.50, I believe. You get a total of 6.6 grams of product, also made in Japan. Oh, but the shelf life. I did take a photograph of the package. Let me see if I can grab it real quick for you. Man, I recycled the box. The box will have the shelf life on it. I'm going to assume 12 months as well. I'm going to assume. This is the mauve rose I didn't know I needed in my life. First of all, how just beautifully, effortlessly it applies on the lip. Okay. How it's glossy, but it has really nice coverage. It feels so comfortable on the lip. And the color is unlike anything I have, anything I've seen on myself. I can't get over it. If you do wear this with a mask, you will get some transfer, but there'll be some color left behind and it won't dry out the lip. And the texture also, as it wears throughout the day, is very soft on the lip. It doesn't feel sticky either. That is the Fluid Glow. Now the Fluid Fog. Number 3, Wataichigo. It's this plum rose. This is a texture that I have not yet experienced. It is like a soft matte mousse. It doesn't completely dry down. And you'll see here, if I were to blot this color, it definitely still transfers. So you will get some transfer on the mask. But the color left behind though, it doesn't get disturbed. And it doesn't feel sticky. I'm gonna go on the product details just to read up more on this to give you what I'm trying to experience. There's actually 2 Fluid Fog colors coming in the pre-holiday collection alongside the new blush palette. These liquid lipsticks are made with a high viscosity oil for a smooth and even application. Once the oil dries, it leaves a beautiful lightweight film on the lips. The Comfort Lip Fluid Fog gives a gentle glow with a light matte finish. That's exactly what's happening. It's light matte, but it doesn't look like it's shrinking my lips, nor does it feel like I'm wearing a matte. I don't mind that my lipstick transfers. I think that's just nature of lipstick, and with the current times, you might just skip lipstick altogether, but if you still insist on wearing it, it's not going to get all over. It's not going to overly smear. I still see color behind. The lips don't look dry, and the doe foot on the Fluid Glow and Fluid Fog is flatter than the one in the concealer component. So I actually prefer this design for lipstick application. I think it gets around the curves of the lips easier. Ooh, wait, I gotta quickly show you. Hold on, one more. Here's one more. Number 7, Houjiiro. This is more like a brown. It's just... And again, if you want to do the blat, excuse me while I clean up. Even with the blot, I don't mind that there's not as much color left behind. It could be this color specifically that maybe not as even as the previous one, but like the description explained, you have to let the formula settle and look what's left behind. Once you really blend it in, let it sit for a while, the consistency left behind and the color is just... I'm done. Goodbye. So here's a finished look from this demo, fam. I don't know what to say. I am just so impressed still. I was impressed with my first Suqqu video and have been so with all Suqqu products that I have tried. This blush palette is just sublime, and if you're trying to figure out which one to get, I know it's tough because they're both beautiful. I think they have different offerings. If you're more into blush, I think you will love 101 because again, the colors presented here will give you nice blush sculpt. If you don't like traditional sculpt powders within the neutral category of things and you rather use a blush to create dimension on your face, then 101 is for you without a doubt. I have used these shades as like a bronzer, the more terracotta shade that I feel adds nice character to the complexion as not your traditional bronzer shade. If you want something a little more traditional, a little more neutral, then yes, 102 will be it, especially if you want that golden highlight that I feel is more versatile than the highlight shades found in 101, especially if you're my skin tone, if you prefer the gold champagne hue of highlight. And the other highlights here I think will look beautiful on deeper skin tones, especially the bronzier gold one. And the blush shades here I feel are very user friendly. They build beautifully without looking powdery or cakey on the skin, and the hues are just so forgiving, and they melt into your complexion. Again, they just give it that flush and just beautiful character because the shades presented here are just so special. So that's the way I would go. If you get both, then I don't know what to tell you. You will use both, most definitely. You will love both. You will. For the cream foundation, I would go with 035 if you're my complexion. If you're my complexion or maybe a shade or two deeper than me, 040 could work. If you're my complexion and want a little more sun-kissed glow, then 040, but 035 I think will be your match. For the concealers, I didn't mention this while I was going over the product details and design, but the fact that you can see the product on the bottom of the component I think is genius. It's not totally covered, so if you store your concealers like this or if you store them like this, you can see the product without having to look at the label. 15 for the under eyes, 16 for on the face for blemish coverage, and 18 for the contour. I have a lot of Fluid Glow lipsticks here. I didn't go through all of them today because I have the red, this orange red. I think I showed you the mauve. I have the classic red in the Fluid Glow. I have more of a classic red in the Fluid Fog. So I'll do a separate video doing all the Fluid Fog and Fluid Glow lip swatches because I don't want this to take forever and I need to eat supper. If you have any questions about these products, I'll be sure to answer them as promptly as possible. Let me know if you want me to film a live further demoing the Suqqu products, answering any questions you might have, doing more swatches, applying maybe both blush compacts on the cheek just to get a better idea of what they deliver and what you think which one is best for you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you have Suqqu, if you tried it, if you're looking to try it, let me know down below. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review tutorial Suqqu extravaganza. I'll be there. Monthly favorite or nightly live chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.